Thank you for this kind invitation. I'm truly honored and humbled to be here today, and I will speak to you from the heart. But before I speak to the graduates, I want to speak to everyone, parents and families, as well as gentlemen. Before you leave to go to further education or whatever you're doing this summer, there's a prescription that Dr. John wants to give you. There's 5 things that you all have to tell each other. Please forgive me. I forgive you. I am sorry. I love you. Goodbye, and I'll see you soon. Those are the 5 things that families need to say to each other before one goes away. It's part of good medicine. So once again, I'm here today very honored. I know Chuck Norris couldn't be your commencement speaker today. And it's also nice to be the opening act for Mr. Alex Hadley, who will be addressing you shortly. No pun intended, Alex. Gentlemen, these comments today are coming to you. I want to thank you for not disinviting me. I know Connie Rice couldn't speak at Rutgers because they got snooky. And Johns Hopkins refused Ben Carson recently because of his stand on same-sex marriage. You're going to find that when you enter the next phase of education, education has become saturated with political correctness. And so has medicine, my profession. Both take God out, and we lose our morals. It's what the Heights has been trying to tell us over these last many years. Many of you may notice that entering the next educational phase of your lives, that in academia, rather than embracing the free exercise of conversation and ideas, they shun and demonize those with divergent opinions, especially those who hold the faith of Christian. You live in a deranged age, more deranged than usual, because in spite of great scientific and technological advances, we don't have the faintest idea who we are and what we are doing. That's a quote from Walker Percy. Our campuses and our medical schools have become islands of intolerance, where a small group of closed-minded students and faculty can cut off discussion rather than encourage it. I was speaking at the University of Washington to about 300 people in medicine. There were over 100 people in the front of the auditorium chanting slogans, "Tell me to get my Jesus off of their campus." I was giving a medical talk. They beat drums throughout the talk. About 100 of them tried to disrupt the presentation. This is on a place where the campus preaches tolerance and understanding and open-mindedness. That's not what you learned here at the Heights. And so, like that poor Jewish milkman at the beginning of Fiddler on the Roof, I want to remind you that it's because of our traditions that every one of us knows who we are and what God expects of us. For us Catholics, we believe in sacred tradition as a source of God's revelation. Our identity is radically dependent on our relationship with Christ. This place formed us and educated us. It did it to me. That's why I'm excited to be here with you. This is different than what the world says. This idea that God has been eclipsed. No, this is a different place. So the title of my next 7 or 8 minutes from this simple Polish doctor is about 10 easy points, and it's called engage, not to be confused with to get engaged. Right, gentlemen? So, point number 1, do not be politically correct. Learn to give to Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God's. Know this difference because it has eternal consequences. I drank the Kool-Aid and performed abortions. This hand, this heart, this mind, aborted unborn children because I believed it was good for women. And in the middle of that process, God had to hit me upside the head and bring me back to my senses. And it's only through his mercy and the prayers of my family that I came to my senses. Remember, these men and women of the Heights will always pray for you. Always. This feeds into point number 2. Know that your parents love you. They accept you for who you are with all your quirks. They know that you're not perfect. They may get angry, but they will never, ever stop loving you. These people in the audience are here because they're proud of you as the way you are. They want you to grow to become men. They want you to be healthy and holy. They will pray for you. Intercessory prayer is crucial. The Heights and your families will pray, and they love you. Third point. We talk about health is based on relationships found in community. All of us know that you can throw money and programs at a problem, but it really comes down to relationships. Morbidity and mortality go down with real relationships, people who care about you. That's what happens in medicine, and that's what happened here with your friends in your class. My God, you guys are buds. You're in it for the long haul. You will not forget one another. And this takes you to point number 4. Take the Heights with you on your journey. Take those memories. Sam Willard in gold, Johnny Meehan on stage, Mr. Segura from long range in this very auditorium, Brady or Matt in the hole, any time spent in Big Dog's office. Those are memories. Take them with you. They will help you. Remember your teachers. I remember Mr. Fornachari's grinders, as we called them. Mr. Stinson musing about YouTube. And Mr. Chris Breslin. Gentlemen, this is a quote, by the way. Gentlemen, I want order and good behavior in my class. I used to be able to throw this podium at you, but because of my heart attack, I can't do it anymore. That's what the Heights are. I can't thank the Breslins for doing what they did for my sons. I can't thank enough for what the men of this school did. Remember the parents. Just a shout out to all the baseball dads for all those times that I was so busy with my work. You were the one that was helping Joseph get through another break or another tear. I am deeply, deeply grateful. That's what the Heights is. Surrounding your sons with good men and women. And then remember the front office staff. Remember our front office and staff. Mrs. Glenn caring about coming in late from traffic or the Philadelphia challenge. Or Mrs. Conahy's attention to detail, even this morning. Point number 5, do not be risk averse. I keep getting told in my profession to cover my ass, the CYA. Worry about malpractice. Gentlemen, I don't know how to live by worrying about worrying what the future is going to bring. I want to tell you, do not be risk averse. In medicine, you find those who run to the code or the hemorrhage and those who pull away because they're worried about malpractice. I'm telling you, life is a lot more exciting and fun when you run towards the code. We had a woman in my residency shot with a bow and arrow while she was pregnant. I remember running into the room, and one of my senior residents was standing on the side. Went in, I was a second-year resident at the time. We helped get this woman to the operating room, saving her and the baby. Heart attacks in mothers with children. Hemorrhages. We had an abortion being done at the university where we were at. I had already converted to the pro-life way. I ran in because this mother was hemorrhaging with a dead baby. He looks at me and goes, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Man, you need help. Come on, let's roll up our sleeves and get a little dirty. Let's help save this life." Do not be risk averse, please. A greater man than I once said, "Don't let your lives be sterile. Be useful. Blaze a trail." My wife and I started the Tepeyac Family Center in our basement in 1994. Why? Because it was the moms and dads, many of you in the audience, who supported me when they told me that I wouldn't make it. It was because of Heights parents that traveled first to Silver Spring and then to Fairfax, Virginia. They crossed the Potomac River. This is huge. Number 6, be a light. Be a light that attracts. Now, I don't mean the type of attractiveness that's found with the Fox News anchors, the female Fox News anchors. I'm talking about the light that shines from the gospel. Isaiah 11, Galatians 5. Right now, I pray for piety, counsel, wisdom, fortitude, understanding, and fear of the Lord. I pray for love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control for you. It's not coincidental. You guys must be a tough class. You're graduating on Pentecost. I pray this for you abundantly. 7th, for your friends who drive a red Prius, please come up with a better name. Enough said. 8th, stop smoking and chewing and dipping. It's bad for your lungs and heart. I'm a doctor, and I say Red Bull and Monster are part of that same category, gentlemen. Mixing them with alcohol or chugging a few of them at a time to get out of class, not a good idea. Not cool, not smart, not real bright. Point number 9. Listen to the blues daily. Watermelon Slim, Blind Lemon Jefferson, Lead Belly, Big Bill Bronson, Bob Johnson. Eric Clapton is good for your soul. Not as good as Christ, but he helps us connect with the suffering of our fellow men. Every afternoon when I think I'm losing my mind in my office, out comes Clapton, or one of these guys. You guys have all those things plugged into your ears all the time? Use it wisely. And finally, point number 10, and in conclusion. The Heights has prepared your conscience, I am sure of. You are prepared because someday very soon you and your brother Kyle will be hitchhiking down a dark and lonesome road. And you will be accosted by demons who want to eat your soul if you just give in. Once every 228 years, you do the math. There is a moment in time where the future of our country and our nation and our families is going to diverge. Now is one of those times. So when that beast asks you, "Be you angels?" Answer, "Nay, we are but men. We are Heights men." And for all of you listening to #selfie by the Chainsmokers, Brady, listen closely. And you are tempted to buy the world to be the norm, to be the status quo. Who wears cheetah? What should my caption be? I want it to be clever. Living with my britches. That's so ratchet. Such a fake model. Who goes out on Mondays? There's no vodka on my table. Let me take a selfie. When the world is tempting me, when the world's tempting me to do that, if you really want to take a selfie, remember your time up in that library just a few moments ago that you shared with me. Gentlemen, I will remember that for a very long time. Live the heroic minute every morning. Get your butt out of bed. Don't linger. Don't waste a moment. Gentlemen, I've had metastatic cancer. I've broken my neck. I've been in a coma before. I'm telling you, do not waste a moment. I had one of those near-death walk-to-the-light experiences. He asks 2 questions. Do you love me and do you want to be with me? Don't waste a moment. Do not live risk-averse. Remember Mr. Breslin teaching through his heart attack. Remember this place and the people who are here. Stay close to the Lord in prayer. Men fully alive. Hashtag men fully alive. That's the selfie you need to be taking. Remember those crazy pictures as you leave this place and you see Chris Breslin with his hand up in the air. Make it last. Make it last in your head and in your heart. Ladies and gentlemen, Friday was the 70th anniversary of D-Day. Gentlemen, you're starting a new chapter to help the Holy Spirit renew the face of our planet. Today, it begins. Gentlemen, you are the Rangers at Pointe du Hoc on D-Day. Omaha, Juneau, Utah, they're getting slaughtered in the crossfire. Ike sends the Rangers to take those guns. I think you might have learned that in Groucho's class, I hope. You are those Rangers. In my mind, you are those Rangers. You are settling grappling hooks to climb your way up the cliffs. That's the hope we're talking about. C.S. Lewis said that hope is one of the theological virtues. This means that a continual looking forward to the eternal world is not, as some modern people think, a form of escapism or wishful thinking, but one of the things a Christian is meant to do. It does not mean that we have to leave the present world as it is, because if you read history, and you read it well, you will find that Christians who did most of the present world were those who thought most of the next. And so when you are facing evil in society, be like Maximus. Look evil in the eye, and before you rip evil's jugular out, the frost, the sin, it sometimes makes the blade stick. Take risks. Go after evil. Pope Francis recently explained that the true meaning of hope is saying much more than simple optimism for Christians. It's a constant expectation. And he said, don't confuse optimism with hope. I'm not really optimistic about the future, but I am hopeful. I am very hopeful. Optimism is a psychological attitude towards life. Hope goes further. It's an anchor that one hurls towards the future. It's what will let you pull the line and reach what you are aiming for, heading in the right direction. So, once again, one last time, gentlemen, as Mr. Kaiser started every class, jackets, ties, top buttons, pants out of boots, she is in the corner. Whatever faith you profess, I want you to know that you have been given a Heavenly Mother who loves you. And she wants you to do whatever He tells you. So pray. I want to say in conclusion that that Carol and I are just incredibly proud of you, Joe. And I am humbled to have been able to give you this address. I want God to bless all of your endeavors, gentlemen. I want you to take this place that we call the Heights here on 7 Locks with you. And as Maximus would say, strength and honor. And when you receive your diplomas, gentlemen, engage and unleash heaven. Thank you very much.
one of the lifers delivers the salutatorian speech. This year's salutatorian is Alexander Paul Hadley. Alex is a Jackson Scholar, having written a senior thesis titled Exploring Hugo's Digressions in Les Miserables. He's also a National Merit Commended Scholar, as well as an Advanced Placement Scholar with distinction, having completed 15 advanced and honor courses, including 2 years of calculus and 5 years of Latin. His grade point average is a perfect 4.0. At the highest, by the way, 4.0 is the highest you can get, unlike weighted GPS where you get over 4.0 on a 4.0 scale. So it's a perfect 4.0. His transcript includes 17 A pluses and 11 A's. Alex is the youngest of 6 brothers to attend this school, and his parents, Jerry and Kate, are now the new record holders for most consecutive years with at least one son enrolled at the high school. 28 years. Please welcome the class of 2014 salutatorian, Alex Hadley.
When my fellow lifers and I were initiated into our respective plans back in 3rd grade, we all received a card bearing our plan's crest on the front and the school song at the time, The Minstrel Boy, on the back. For those who don't know, The Minstrel Boy is an Irish memorial song for a minstrel boy who takes up a sword to fight for freedom and truth and is killed in battle. Such a song may seem like a depressing choice to give to 8-year-olds who are about to be thrown 10 feet up in the air in the wild celebration involved in the initiation process. At the Heights, however, we strive to emulate this minstrel boy. The ideal of the poet warrior is essential to the education we receive here at the Heights, as we become balanced men of physical courage and strength, intellectual curiosity and excellence, and spiritual depth and fervor. During a study hall my freshman year, one of my friends who had just come to Heights turned to me and said, "You know what I love about this school? There are no nerds here. I mean, look at Robert Quinn. The guy's a genius, and he also does varsity swimming, and it's super cool." Now, although my friend might have been slightly off about Robert being that cool, he certainly did highlight one of the greatest things about the school, that at the Heights, we struggle to be balanced men. The education experience we've received here at the Heights has been designed to form the whole person, body, mind, and soul. Only with an education like this can one change the world in whatever situation one is placed. We need good people. We need saints on the construction site and in the office building just as much as we need them in the chapel. Everywhere, there's a need for service and charity, and we can only meet those needs through excellence in many facets of our lives. The Heights is a school, yes, but it is also a mother. So its greatest duty has been to make us not just better students, but better people. Here at the Heights, sports and physical exercise are not a break from school, but an integral part of our education. The dedication of half of our plan days to very physical games like bowling ring and thud is not accidental. For those who don't know what thud is, it was invented by our resident ex-Marine, Mr. Breslin, and involves throwing 15-pound medicine ball at each other until it either drops or propels you out of the ring. Such a game has a strange appeal to it, but it can sometimes be intimidating, especially for a short person like me. And it's precisely by facing John Tanner in the thud ring that one learns the virtue of courage. The inordinate amount of recess time given to us as lower schoolers was not inordinate at all. Rather, we matured by spending so much time in the valley with our friends, building friendships that will last us 10 years and will continue throughout our lives. In middle school, we began to play organized sports for the Heights, not as a way to escape from class time, but to foster virtues like leadership and perseverance. These virtues remained a constant as we succeeded athletically in high school, from state championships in cross country and baseball to an All-American lacrosse player. But what matters is not the list of accolades my classmates have received in sports. Rather, what counts is the people they have become through their competition. That is the true testament to the value of all the hours spent on these activities. Here at the Heights, our coaches, who are also teachers, work hard to instill in us the belief that, even in sports, we should always be growing in virtue. Athletic excellence should foster virtue, and even demands it, for the best athletes usually have authority and influence over their peers. It's not difficult to see how the Heights helps us grow intellectually. After all, it is a school where most of our time is spent in the classroom, at least hopefully. What distinguishes the Heights education, however, is the relationship between teacher and student. At no other school will you find such respect and friendship as at the Heights, between these two persons who are often typecast as enemies. When we were young, teachers would build a relationship with us by playing with us during breaks, sometimes using their physical superiority to gain our respect. Well, it worked. And I'll never forget that time that Mr. Hadley kicked the kickball 250 feet over a fence and hit a neighbor's back door. After that incident, who would dare misbehave in class? He might kick you next. In middle school, our craziness forced heavier hands, as teachers were forced to hand out boot camps or use, how shall I put it, creative insults like Mr. Batista did. However, even then there was an ever-present, albeit veiled, friendliness in our relationship. Such a friendship really blossoms in high school. And I can say without a doubt that some of my best friends are in fact teachers. When our Latin teacher, Mr. Myers, spends a whole day with us, going to a Latin competition so that we can earn extra credit in his class, putting up our antics while we wait for it to start, and going to lunch with us afterwards. That's when you know a teacher wants to help you beyond the classroom, that he wants to make you a better person through his friendship. The rigor of our academics is easy to see by the colleges we will be attending next year. But the true value in our education comes from the fact that these teachers influenced us in and out of the classroom. True, we learned subjects like math, English, and history from our teachers. But at the Heights, we learned so much more. They aren't satisfied with us coming to class. They ask for our respect, and in return, they repay us with generosity and friendship. As a culmination of all the other types of education with which the Heights provides us, we are getting extensive formation so as to become friends with God. There are many obvious means for this, like our beautiful chapel and great priests. These people make the deep Christian life relatively easy at the Heights. However, the key to our spiritual education does not lie in these obvious means. They are vital, but their mere presence is not enough. Example. Example will always be the best way to teach and encourage people. I cannot remember a single day that my third grade teacher did not go to Mass. And so, we, as impressionable young third graders, always follow every day. Even today, third graders also do this. And those schools always have tried to imitate their teachers in piety, even if they are more easily distracted by Mr. Bancroft's angelic voice in the choir off behind me. As we grew older, more was demanded of us. I remember in 8th grade, Father Jerry begging me to serve, so that he could have an excuse to turn away the hordes of third graders looking to serve Mass that day. After Mass this year, I started to notice that more and more of my classmates were staying after for a time of Thanksgiving, largely because we saw our teachers doing just that. Clearly, we've come a long way from our lower school days, when we would literally race back to the valley after Mass ended. At the Heights, we have been taught to love God, by our teachers' words, yes, but more fully by their deeds. Only then does the faith truly become ours, and I firmly believe that there is no better way to educate the soul. Whether or not this type of full education worked on us, only time will tell. Because its purpose has been to make us leaders and beacons of the Christian spirit in all that we do, its success will be measured by the lives we change for the better. The Heights has tried to develop our virtues and capabilities so that we can sanctify others beyond the chapel, but with God as our help. As the last in a long line of Hadley men, I always knew that I would come here. But what was not inevitable was that these 10 years would be the best of my short life. What's more, I've also learned here that they shouldn't stay that way. I'd like our years at the Heights to make our futures better. I'd like our futures to far outstrip our time here in happiness. And I hope that we will all always follow God's command to grow. Thank you, and Christian Tech.
Thank you, Alex. The class of 2014 valedictorian is also a Jackson Scholar. Robert Martin Gwynn wrote and successfully defended his thesis on moral considerations for life-saving technologies. He is also a National Merit Scholar, as well as an Advanced Placement Scholar with distinction. By the end of junior year, Robert had already scored high enough in 8 advanced placement exams to obtain college credit for them. He has taken a total of 17 advanced and honor courses here at the school. These classes include 3 years of calculus, 5 years of Latin, advanced placement chemistry, advanced placement physics, and advanced placement biology. Robert's grade point average is also a perfect 4.0. His transcript includes 19 A pluses and 9 A's. They may have got an A minus somewhere along the way. Please welcome the class of 2014 valedictorian Robert Gwynn.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being here at the commencement ceremony for the Heights class of 2014. It's certainly an honor to be here with you all at our graduation, having spent up to 10 years with some of you, day in, day out, in class and out of class. We made it. And we could never have done so without copious amounts of help along the way. I can't continue without at least making an effort to thank the myriad of people who brought us here, the people who have raised us, helped us, taught us, coached us, mentored us, and carried us. I should probably start with the people who made me feel comfortable using words like copious and myriad. But I undertake this effort at thanks and gratitude, fully aware that I'll fail. Even were there no time constraints, I realize the number of people in my life is huge, and my debt of gratitude is staggering. It is a debt I can never repay.